Information, inspiration, motivation. You're now listening to the Going North podcast, where you're going to get all three of those things and more. I'm your host, author, speaker, and book enthusiast, Dom Brightman. And every week, we're going to be hearing from an author who's going to share their expertise to help you charge forward in life. Now, let's get on with the show. And today on the Going North podcast, we bring you some fabulous humans from across the globe. Today's no different because the chaos to clarity November train is still moving on these tracks, baby. Choo choo. And today we got another co-author out of that book who's also done some fabulous stuff herself. In addition to being a co-author in this project, she's also an author of her own best-selling book, as well as a highly trained metaphysician with 34 years of professional counseling. 34 years, y'all. That's freaking amazing. And not only that, she also has healing experience tag teamed with her professional counseling. So healing folks for 34 years and counting. And in her private practice as an intuitive counselor, medium, shaman, and metaphysician, this fabulous lady with the name that starts with an E helps clients from all over the world by using her proven distance healing, intuitive therapy, as well as the Pechet healing technique. And you can check out all of her fabulous stuff on the site that has all the flames of fabulosity, phoenixrisinghealing.com. And for those who haven't looked at the episode title yet on the page, you probably don't know who I'm talking about, but you're going to know him after these next 45 hours. It's the wonderful Ellie Pechet. How are you today, ma'am?
Oh, hi, Dom. Thank you. Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. Thanks for having me on your show. It's a real honor.
Oh, yeah, it's great to have you on, Miss EP yourself. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It was great before with the sound test and everything, talking about evil and dark chocolate. I didn't even have to bring up a cactus during the conversation.
Uh-huh, that's true. Hmm.
Yep, but it's not about cactuses. It's about filling in dental cavities. So, as with all introductions, are not allowed to be 3 years long. So, mind filling in some gaps where I missed some things in your introduction, Ellie?
Oh, you did a really nice introduction, Dom. I started out doing counseling about 34 years ago and realized pretty quickly that other things were meant for me, a lot more than just counseling. And I started my journey learning energy healing, and I coupled that with counseling. And I also discovered that I was a medium and a shaman, and eventually that I could do my healing, my intuitive healing work just as effectively long distance. And so at this point, it's taken me 34 years to get to where I am and to the point where I can do what I do as quickly as I can clear issues for my clients. And I do this primarily by phone and Skype.
So, what led you to becoming a healer, let alone gaining the technique of distance healing?
Yeah. Well, I was working on a psychiatric unit in my 20s, and I was doing counseling, and I just had the realization when I was sitting there with a client one day that there has to be more that I'm here to do this time around than talk therapy. I feel that that's helpful, and so I really wanted to be used in the best capacity that that I can be of help to humankind while I'm here in this body, in this incarnation. And that's why I do really high level healing coupled with intuitive counseling. But really, the healing is my primary focus, although having the counseling background is really helpful in understanding clients I work with, their backgrounds, and their issues.
There you go, understanding their issues right there. And I'm guessing that led you to actually having Phoenix Rising, which is a cool name, like phoenixrisinghealing.com. Like, what inspired that name?
Thank you. Well, that's the highest level of the Scorpio is the phoenix rising from the ashes into the powerful phoenix, and that's why I named my practice that.
Ah, okay, okay, indeed. So, have you ever wore the Marvel superhero Phoenix costume for Halloween on a business day to counsel some folks and see if you got any laughs from them to help with their healing?
I hadn't thought of that, Don, but I'll consider that next time Halloween comes around. The phoenix symbol is also something that I prescribe to with my clients is bringing out the phoenix in them. A lot of my work is geared toward empowerment, and by clearing their issues, they become lighter, freer, and stronger within, and then they're better able to live their life purpose and really accomplish what they're here to do.
Ah, there you go, indeed. There you go, indeed. And not to mention, with all of that, you actually had a really interesting story in your free entry for the chaos to clarity about the wonderful Ellie Jr.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, indeed. So how's it feel since like learning that magical lesson from having the pet turtle Ellie Jr.?
Yeah, I'm in a good place with it. It was a process from when I lost her, because I had had her in my life for about 32 or 33 years. And that's a long time to have an animal companion. So when she left, and this is what I write about in my story, In Chaos to Clarity, it was very difficult. Now I know that she is safe and she's living an amazing life, the life of a wild turtle, and she chose that. She wanted to live the rest of her years as a wild turtle. So I am really happy for her. So people will have to buy the book, and they'll get more details about that story. But it felt like a good story to write about, that experience, for this particular book, about how I went from a place of worry and concern for her safety and missing her, and then adjusting to knowing that she was safe, and she was not only okay, but that she was really happy and thriving in her new life. And that was the clarity that I was able to get to. This was a personal story that I shared. Have you had a chance to look at some of the stories or the one that I submitted yet?
Oh, of course. I read the story. That's why I asked. I read I've read like half the book already.
Wow, you're a man on the go. That's wonderful, Don. Are there any questions that I can answer for you?
Of course. So do you think after Ellie Jr. wanting to be a turtle in the wild. Do you think that's a message for other humans to find their wild side, at least within reason?
Yeah, that's I like the way you put that. Sure, wild side or passion. Uh, I think it's important that we be able to find what our passion is. What it is that really makes us tick and feel like we're in sync with life and what we're meant to be doing while we're here. I think we're meant to, go through experiences, but also come to a place of inner peace. And I think that is the most important thing that we can feel is inner peace. And that I say that not only on a personal level, but that's really my goal in my work with clients is bringing them to a place of inner peace so that they're able to, as I mentioned before, focus on what their gifts are, what their creativity is and what they're here to contribute. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, especially the contribute part, because you all gotta find out our why and decide what we're gonna contribute to the world, or at least find out what we're supposed to contribute.
Exactly. That's so important. So important. Yeah. And how about you? How do you feel about what you're contributing? I mean, you do a lot, but I'd love to kind of just hear your take on it on a personal level.
Oh yeah, pretty excited about stuff I'm contributing because I mean this is part of that contribution is giving authors a chance to get their voices heard on another platform for their readers, as well as to have another piece for their highlight reel to build up their businesses to be the best business ever. At least their version of their best business ever. Because, I mean, it's a very powerful thing to be able to connect with folks from all over the world and actually learn from other folks and realize, like, hey, this person's not really that much different from me. They may have different abilities and different experiences, but we all really just have the same goals and desires.
Yeah. What do you think those goals and desires are?
Ah, met, met peace of mind. That's one.
That, that is so important, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like peace of mind. It's like yeah, it's like financial freedom. Like that's peace of mind right there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. People they can't really focus on their gifts and their contribution if they still have unresolved trauma, from their childhood, or if they have a core issue like feeling that they were abandoned or rejected. And this is a lot of what I am able to heal for clients. So I can get these roadblocks out of their way so they can enjoy their life, enjoy how they feel on the inside, and excel at their real work. Does that make sense?
Ah, there you go, helping folks excel at their real work. Heck yeah.
Yeah. What they're really here to do, whether it's being a mother, being a phenomenal mother and raising her children to become good, caring, conscientious, stable adults, or whether it's someone, like Kat Canavos, who's a friend of mine and colleague, and she's making an amazing contribution as a dream expert. And she's written books, whether it's what you're doing, spreading wisdom and love through your podcasts. These are all really important roles. It doesn't matter what the role is. What matters is that we're coming from the right intention, and that the intention is to help while we're here.
That's right. Even egg rolls All roles are important.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, and speaking of importance, what's probably been one of the most fulfilling moments in your coaching and healing practice?
Let's see. When I get feedback from clients that I work with, like I got one this morning from a client I worked with last night. She lives in Asheville, North Carolina, and she messaged me. She said, "Thank you so much for your help in healing capacities yesterday. I really appreciate you and am grateful for what you do." It's little gratitudes like that let me know that I'm really making a difference. For the people that I work with, that's really important to me.
Uh,
Maybe one of my favorite experiences is when I was able to heal shingles for a woman long distance over Skype. And I have an ability to identify what the root cause is of a condition or a symptom. And that's where my intuition comes in handy. I'm like a psychic detective. And when I find what the core issue is during the first part of the session, and then I clear it energetically, the symptom goes away or the condition goes away. So she was really excited when I was able to heal her shingles after going the medical route for weeks, not even knowing what it was and all the stress of all these tests. And when I did the session with her, I was able to pinpoint the cause, clear it, and then she woke up the next morning and all the symptoms were gone. She gives a video testimonial on my website on the homepage. Her name is Linda. And I have about 65 video testimonials from clients for all kinds of things that I've helped them with, from road rage to depression to PTSD. And I love to heal people who are dealing with grief over someone that they lost. It's probably my favorite thing to do is bring a person to peace about the person they lost so that they're not suffering anymore.
but that is amazing though. Able to cure shingles from a distance. That is an amazing thing. And I bet it felt really good because that was also part of your story with the turtle, right? That's something you
Um,
had to overcome yourself.
oh yeah. Yeah, well, it's a lot harder to heal yourself because the emotions are engaged. And so it lasted a lot longer with me because I was in my own grief and worry and upset. So but it was good for me to go through the experience so that I could have more compassion, even deeper compassion for the people that have, that come up with manifest something like shingles. I really understand firsthand now, after that experience with my turtle, how painful it is. And so it motivates me even more than before to clear conditions like that for clients. I think that's a big part of my effectiveness, with the people and the animals I work with, is that I can stay objective, and that makes me effective. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes sense indeed. And I like the fact that you mentioned that your experience with that helps you to bring compassion. It's like experience brings compassion. It's Beautiful thing, and it's true indeed, especially with grief as well. It's like if you yourself have lost a loved one, especially a dear loved one, then someone's going through the same thing. You can as console them, or at least come from a place or a high level of compassion for someone who's going through the same thing because you've had that moment too.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. And yeah, it's a really important part of my mission in my work is to get my clients real results as quickly as possible. I don't like to drag things out. I like to get to the bottom of issues and heal them so that the client doesn't have to keep like working on it, whatever it is that they've been working on, that's taking energy away from them being who they are meant to be while they're here, right? So, in other words, we have so much energy, and do we want to be focused on the issues that are still unhealed within us, or do we want to be focusing most of our energy on enjoying our lives, living our lives, and knowing that we're making a difference, however that difference is?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right indeed. That's right indeed.
And compassion is a big part of that. You know, when people are wounded, they're not going to be as compassionate if they're still in their wounds as they will be when they're past their wounds. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you're definitely right about that. It's kind of like when you're in the thick of things, it's kind of hard to see what's going on from an outside perspective in a way until after it's over.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're suffering, it's going to limit your capacity to be there for others and love them and have compassion for them. But if you're feeling good within yourself, you have that much more love to give.
Oh yeah, that's right. With open arms and hands.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what we're here to do, learn from our experiences and step into our bigger self, love, heal, help others.
That's right. The bigger self indeed. That's right. Maybe not like a sumo wrestler big, but maybe in another way.
Yeah, big energy, generosity of spirit, generosity of one's time, quality time. Those are the things that help others.
Oh yeah, that's right. Especially that generosity piece indeed. That's right. Making the heart extra big.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do when it comes to people? What makes you sing inside?
Oh, making people laugh. That's definitely probably the easy one right there. Something
Mhm.
to do daily.
You're very good at that.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, yes, indeed. That's right. The little me inside of the big me with the little halo and the angel wings. Like, yay,
Yeah.
happy day.
Uh-huh. Sounds like you like to focus on the positive and seeing the cup as half full,
That's right. If not having a cup, period.
right? We were saying coffee's important. It's those little pleasures.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like a little pinky on the hand, keeping the hand feeling real good.
Yeah.
That's right. Almost like the pinky toe, too, so the whole foot can stay a foot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, the beautiful thing is you got this wonderful healing practice. You got these two books under your name. So what's next for Ellie?
Probably working with groups of people so that I can reach more people the more people I reach and work with, the better impact on the world. And we need that. Every I think every good deed that we do, every good intention and follow through makes a positive difference. So, my intention is to work with, like I said, as many people as I can, and every person that I work with, their vibration increases, and then it affects the people around them. And it's like the ripple effect when you drop a stone into a body of water. Uh, that ripple effect that you see. I see my work that way with each person I work with, affecting those around them in a positive way.
Sweet. Group healing and counseling, baby. Woohoo!
Yeah, the counseling is it's secondary. It's more minor. In fact, I don't even need to do a lot of counseling. It's the energy work I do, the gift and the experience I have with directing my energy in a highly focused way that empowers the recipient to automatically, know what to do, what to say, how to handle situations. Uh, and they're vibrating at a calmer and lighter vibration.
Sweet. Making sure that phoenix is stay risen. That's what I like right there.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about indeed.
Yeah, I like to work with people, like I said earlier, long distance, phone and Skype, and whether it's somebody dealing with depression or anxiety or trauma, relationships with a sibling or a parent that's unresolved. My work is to bring them to peace pretty quickly. So, whatever their issues are, it's my mission to take them out of pain and get them feeling really good.
Woo! If you were to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again in the current year of 2019, but with all of your mass knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
That's a good question. My advice would be to stay in my heart, and despite experiences or people at times that can be difficult, the ability to stay in one's heart would be my best advice, because that's really staying connected to spirit. And yeah, it improves, makes it easier to connect with people when we're in our heart, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, indeed. Especially nowadays when you can add some assertiveness to that when certain folks may try to go too far with it. Just make sure you have the boundaries in place too. So definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, good boundaries are, those are important. And that's where balance comes in. That's another thing that I would recommend is staying in balance. And actually, we have to work at that because there are a lot of things that throw us off and out of balance. Part of the healing work that I do with clients is in the beginning of the session, as I balance their energy field, then I raise their vibration, and then I'll literally dissolve whatever the issue is that I have intuited they need the most for that session. So, yeah, balance is really important. Balance, clearing, filling those I work with light, keeping my light up, working on my own balance. We're all works in progress. right? As long as we're moving forward as a soul, I think that's important. How about you?
Ah, yes. Tell the tree joke more often.
The tree joke?
Oh, yeah.
What's the tree joke?
Oh, yeah. It was about the time I was a tree, and on 420, they smoked me for all my knowledge.
Ah,
Yep.
gotcha.
Yep. And that's how I woke up as a black guy.
You're funny. Yeah. Listen, it's good that you make people laugh because that's like an instant way to raise the vibration, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's an important gift.
That's right. It's the gift that keeps on giving
That's right.
indeed.
Yeah. And have you ever noticed, Dom, how, if you smile at somebody, they could have a complete scowl on their face, and then you smile at them, and all of a sudden, it's like you're reminding them of the beautiful person that they are, and the scowl leaves, and they'll just lighten up and smile right back. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed.
That's another way to spread joy, just in our regular day-to-day interactions with people is reminding them who they are, reflecting that back to them. And I love to smile at people and see them kind of leave their worries for the moment and remember that all is well and they are loved and they are love.
That's right. Spread the love like butter on bread. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's right. We need each other's butter. We are all bread.
Yeah, we really do. That's what we're here for.
That's right. On the giant bread basket known as Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're here to help each other and be there for each other, support each other.
Well, in addition to all that you do, I hear you got this wonderful GoFundMe page that's all about helping out the ocean wildlife. Mind telling us a bit more about that, Ellie?
Oh, sure. Dom, that's another passion of mine is animals and wildlife and helping them with the energy work that I do. I've worked with different groups at different times. I worked with the black bears in North Carolina, and I didn't have to work with them hands on. Again, I worked with their pictures and was able to help them that way. And I have pictures of before and after of different things that I helped them with. Anyway, my projects change according to what is most needed at the time. And for the last year or so, I've been working with the whales in the Atlantic Ocean and working with dissolving the toxic residues that are in the Atlantic Ocean. And it's been helping a lot. The garbage that the whales have ingested, and 4 out of 5 of them have had ingested plastics and garbage and even metal in their travels in the ocean. I've been able to reduce that number to about 10%. And so it's powerful, it's important. I'm looking for sponsors for that part of the work that I do, which is wildlife. Next, I'd like to work more with the wild turtles. One of the problems that I have already helped them with is the transistors that places like the aquarium are attaching to their shell when they rehab them are very stressful for these turtles. They have this humming, vibrating, pinging transistor on their shell that they can't get away from. So, just as an example, one of the projects that I did with the turtles was to help neutralize these transistors. So, if you're interested in sponsoring any of my work with wildlife, and if you'd like to have a say as to what you'd like me to focus on, what you think is important, you can go to my GoFundMe page, or you can also call me directly and we can make a plan. And my number again is 508 237 4929. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, and speaking of help and support for those who want to keep in magical contact with you, what's the best way for folks to reach out to the fabulous Ellie?
Oh, thanks, Don. Well, they can call me at 508 237 4929, and they can email me at phoenixrisinghealing@gmail.com, and they can also reach out through my website, phoenixrisinghealing.com. And sometimes people transpose the O and the E in Phoenix, so I'll just spell it out for ease. It's PHOENIX, Phoenix Rising Healing. And I'd be happy to talk to anybody, that has any questions about, what we've talked about, maybe how I can help them. That's what I'm here for. In fact, if they mention that, they heard my podcast with you, I'd like to give them a special offer for their first session, 20% off their first session. And so anything that they need help with, whether it's grief or trauma or depression or a block in work or a colleague, I'm about real results for real issues. One issue cleared every session. That's what I do. I also work with pets and family members. I work with people's children or their adult children, and I can work with them using a photo. I just ask permission of their higher self, and the higher self almost always wants the person to get the help that they need. So I don't have to work with them directly, but I'm effective working, like I said, with their picture, long distance. People hire me to work with their relatives and children, sometimes even their parents, long distance, just as a way to help them. Even if they're not on board on a conscious level, they still benefit.
Woohoo! Well, there you have it, folks. Reach out to Ellie. Head over to that phoenixrisinghealing.com. Check out her wares. Schedule a consultation. Go in for that first session. Get that 20% off discount. And be sure to check out not only the Chaos to Clarity book, but also her other fabulous book, Indeed. That's right, folks. Yes, indeed. That's right. So, any parting words for the folks still listening, Ellie?
Yeah, remember who you are. Remember that you are loved and you are love and you're here to love. So anything that I can do to help you step even more fully into that knowing, let me know. I'm here. Thanks for listening.
Thanks a bunch for your listening ears on the Going North podcast. I hope you really, really enjoyed that episode. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family, especially those who love podcasts and love listening to some inspiration and motivation.